What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz states this after his win over the Mean Machine. He states that it doesn't matter if it's Crawford, Spence, Pacquiao, you name it, I'll fight anyone. Virgil Ortiz is becoming familiar with the reoccurring thing following each win these days. The unbeaten welterweight contender from Grand Prairie, Texas, rose to the occasion over the weekend, scoring 5 knockdowns en route to an 8-round knockout of Lithuania's Egidijus Kavaliauskas, which is 22-2, 1-18, the past Saturday at Ford Center at the Star in nearby Frisco. Ortiz accepted the fight while awaiting a bigger opportunity in the lucrative 147-pound division, namely a crack at reigning WBO titleist Terence Bud Crawford, which is 37-0-28. Yes, Ortiz exclaimed regarding his willingness to take the fight. Though noting the business side, there's so much shit going on in boxing right now, I don't even know what I have to do anymore. For now, the 23-year-old will have to wait a little longer and likely until at least the first quarter of 2022. Crawford is currently in talks with former two-time welterweight titleist Sean Showtime Porter, as we know, and the bout will likely take place later this year, leaving Ortiz 18-0 with 18 KOs to take at least one more developmental fight while waiting out his title shot. The win over Kavaliauskas was the latest step up for the rising contender, who stopped the rival former 147-pound titleist Maurice Hooker in the past March in Fort Worth. After that fight, Ortiz was just as eager to challenge Crawford, Hooker's stablemate, and who was ringside, as is the case in the present day. He says, "I'm here whenever, I'm ready to fight whenever," insists Ortiz. It doesn't matter if it's Crawford or if it's Errol, Spence, or even if it's Manny Pacquiao. I will fight anyone. Let me counterpunch. Virgil Ortiz had a great showcase, and he showcased his skills nicely. He showed us great balanced attacks. He showed us poise. He showed us positive habits. Great defense, mind you. Good defense. Not great defense. But for the caliber of guy he was fighting, the Mean Machine, he has a perfect name because the guy was punching with mean intentions. There was some favoritism in that fight. That should have been a knockdown in the second round because he did go down. This is the second time Mean Machine has knocked someone down and actually didn't get credit for it because he dropped Terence Crawford as well. But it was a step up, even though he did get up and he did get his own knockdown 5 more times after that. And I must say, a guy like Virgil Ortiz, he is so reminding me of Fernando Vargas, with the record, with the ferociousness, with the eagerness to show that he's great, with the trainer, even though he's from Grand Prairie, Texas, he's training with Roberto Garcia, just like Manny, Fernando Vargas was back in the day. And, and you have to look at the similarities. Now, does that mean he's ready for Crawford, Spence, Manny Pacquiao? I say, why not? Fernando Vargas was, and I think certain fighters are throwback fighters and they just fight, they're just cut from a different cloth. Fernando Vargas was one of those fighters, and I think there's nothing else or no exception for Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is a guy that's 18-0 with 18 KOs, just like Fernando Vargas was. 18-0, 18 KOs. I think he finally fought, in his 19th fight against Corte and Winky Wright. Okay, I think Winky Wright was his 17th fight, but that was, 18th or 19th fight. Then he fought Corte, then he fought Felix Trinidad, okay? So he fought all the badasses up there. Winky Wright, Felix Trinidad, Corte. He fought them all. Virgil Ortiz, I think, wants that same smoke. He wants the Errol Spences. He wants the Terence Crawfords. He wants even the Manny Pacquiaos, which I don't see that fight happening. But, he threw it out there. I think he should have said another name like Keith Thurman or somebody like that. But they are the champions, okay? Or they're in line to be the champions. So I think after that win, I think he's convinced enough people, including myself, that he's ready for the next level. After all, he did stop a guy in 8 rounds where I think it took Terence Crawford 9. I could be wrong. They both stopped Mean Machine. But if you're fighting the similar opponents, why not fight each other? Counterpunch. So I think that Virgil Ortiz is ready. I think that he is now hot property at Golden Boy. And then, like he said, there is a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And that may be a problem with Virgil Ortiz. Since Canelo Alvarez is gone from Golden Boy, you have to look at the possibility of them or a little bit of protection, knowing that, hey, this is our guy over here at Golden Boy, and this is one of the last of the Mohicans, so we might not want to see those type of fights, especially now when Terence Crawford is still in his prime, or Errol Spence, is in his prime. And, those type of fights could end the fight, but then again, at what point do you let your fighter go and take off the training wheels? So we will see what happens for Virgil Ortiz, but one thing's for sure, I think he's ready. Will he win? That's a totally different story, but I think he's ready for the challenge. You guys tell me what you think about Virgil Ortiz calling out these elite names. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!